I think he's got some work to do, man. When you're down 2-0 to the defending IPL4 champion, it's going to be tough.
And I mean, you have to put yourself in the place of Minigun too. Maybe he's nervous. Being down 2 games is not good. And the thing is, he needs to make something happen. He was very confident coming into this match, but you know, he needs to make something happen, man. Minigun can do it. He can take a game off aLive. I hope you guys are going to be here to witness it because it's going to happen right now on MLG and Ticket Shipyard.
All right, here we go, right into the game. The loading is completed. And we're here in game number 3 of this best of 7 series between spawning in the bottom right-hand location, representing Team Complexity, the Protoss player Minigun. And of course, he's down 0-2 to the Terran player in the purple. aLive representing Team Fnatic. aLive waking up early. And you know what? He wants to eat some Protoss for breakfast.
He does.
He's not going to eat cereal. He's going to eat some
Protoss.
And he's well on his way, man. Up 2-0. 2 games away. 2 wins away from taking this series from sweeping Minigun. But will Minigun have anything to say about it? We'll see. He has to make some adjustments, though. Of course, we can talk about the first 2 games. A lot of marine aggression that Minigun just didn't have an answer for. And it all comes down to information. If you can scout what your Terran opponent is doing, if you can prevent Marines from going wonky paths towards your base, if you can be prepared for that, obviously you're going to be in a bit better shape. So I do expect Minigun to be a little bit more on top of his scouting, of identifying every single attack path leading to his base to prevent any sort of that early aggression from being too terribly effective.
Yeah, so now he should have more experience playing against aLive. He's sort of in the position where he needs to, you know, obviously step 1 is going to need to defend the attacks from aLive, possibly decide his tech that way. Maybe he wants to go a little bit more gateway heavy rather than trying to tech too quickly. But the question is again, man, aLive has been very known to do that early marine aggression, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does it again in game 3. But, you know, opening so far, very, very consistent standard from the previous games. We do see the barracks again going to be walled off here at the natural choke for aLive. We do see the gateway in position again for Minigun. Gas going to get taken. And when you're in this position as Minigun, do you all in? Do you go for like a 6 gate off 2 base? I mean, you don't want to expand so quick against aLive apparently because he's just going to attack you with Marines. So what do you do if you're in Minigun's position? Do you go for an all in?
I mean, I make sure I know what the heck he's doing. I make sure I have a probe at every single attack path. I'm not going to be taken off guard by anything right now. And look at this. He scouted the no gas, didn't scout the rest of the base, so he's not going to see the second racks. And that's what I'm talking about. You got to be able to see this stuff so you can adequately prepare. So here, Minigun sees the command center, sees the 1 rack, sees the lack of a gas. He's like, all right, no big deal. This is a 1 rack fast expand. This is exactly what you did last game. I'm going to be completely prepared for this. But, spoiler alert, Minigun, it's a 2 racks. And he wasn't able to see that. The question is, did he count the SCVs? It's so hard to tell when you're counting SCVs, but you can do it. And we'll have to see what Minigun does from here. Can aLive take another quick one?
Well, interesting decision by aLive. He's actually going to lift off that second racks, landed on the lower ground, and he's going to start Marine production, man. 2 Marines in production right now. And he is looking to be more aggressive than ever. He actually controls the watchtower, so if there's any kind of scouting stalker, any kind of probe making its way across the map, that's going to get denied immediately. And Minigun gonna get his Zealot. I really like this. He's gonna be able to deny the scout from the SCV. He is also gonna get a Stalker on the way. Chrono boosting Warp Gate technology. So he's gonna try to get that as quickly as possible. But Minigun sending a probe to the natural, and this is looking so bad. If he goes for the 1 gate expand, it's gonna be so bad for Minigun because there are a lot of Marines soon to be on the map right now. Currently 6 Marines. aLive gonna actually rally to the natural, and this is an interesting decision. I guess he's not gonna be aggressive with this. He's gonna expand behind that. So like, you know, I guess sort of. I guess the scout that Minigun scouted was a 1 racks expand, and aLive is going to expand behind this, but what do you think about the option of not going aggressive with this second barracks?
It's an interesting decision. I mean, you know, the main reason you put it on the low ground is because you want to do a lot of aggression. Now Minigun sees the exact Marine count. The good news is he's going to have more Marines at this time than he would if he just 1 racks fast expanded, so he can try to exploit that timing. I'm wondering if he like scouted what Minigun is doing and then like changed his mind, but hold that thought. Looks like he's going to be advancing up the map, gonna just stop at the watchtower and chill. But yeah, I'm wondering how aggressive he's gonna be now. Minigun adding on 2 additional gateways. He saw the Marine count from his opponent, but yeah, aLive just gonna be chilling. He's just gonna take his natural expansion. Looks like he's gonna transition behind this, adding on 2 gases at his main base, and Minigun can breathe a little bit.
Yeah, so the gases are going to get established here soon for aLive. aLive is still on two barracks and continue making marine production. Going to get a bunker here at the natural as well. Expansion almost completed now for Fanatics aLive. And behind that, Minigun going to add 2 additional gateways. So he is going to be up to 3 gateways here relatively soon. No kind of robo facility yet on the way. Maybe going to go for a Twilight Council. Possibly, I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. But with that being said, Minigun's expansion is up as well, and a factory on the way right now for aLive, and this is a solid timing for the factory. With that being said, he will be able to get medevacs on the map relatively quickly, possibly go for a little bit of aggression, and something that's really interesting in the TVP metagame nowadays is when you get your first initial medevacs, a lot of players just love pushing up to the natural, but what you see them do now is they load up a drop or 2 drops and they do like a 2-pronged attack. They come from the natural and they drop in the main, and sometimes it's extremely hard for Protoss players to deal with it because you just don't have that many units early on in the game. So that's going to be interesting to see. Starport is on the way right now for aLive, and thus far Minigun, you know, he's alive, man. He's not dead.
Yeah, drop is just so good on this map, and actually putting a tech lab on the factory, that's an interesting decision. Is he going to go Banshee? Is that what he's doing here?
Maybe. That's actually really interesting. He's floating the factory and he's getting a tech lab. So that, I mean, it looks Banshee. He's getting a reactor on the barracks. I mean, I don't think you're gonna float your starport to the choke. That'll be kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, well,
maybe you can do that. But yeah, there it is. He is gonna. And this is cool. This is really cool. A delayed Banshee
cloak
can be really good. Yeah, this is really cool. But what is the response from Minigun? Minigun has no robotics facility. He is going straight into Twilight Council, getting Blink technology, adding additional gateways, 3 gateways. So he's going to be in trouble, man. This cloak might actually win aLive the game.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because Minigun has no kind of detection.
The good news is he's getting Blink. Of course, if you can Blink underneath the Banshees before they can get their cloak off and aLive isn't completely on top of his micro, you can try to snipe it away. And he has a forge on the field, so potentially if he sees the cloak, if he sees the potential of that cloak upgrade being utilized by those Banshees, stick a cannon or 2 in his natural, in his main. But yeah, man, doesn't have that robotics facility, adding on 3 gateways. He's going to be investing into a lot of stalkers, so we'll have to see how prepared he's going to be for this cloak Banshee. But I like the strategy from aLive. It's very cool. Not a lot of Terran players do this, and like that's the scariest thing ever. Like usually in PvT, the one thing you're terrified about is the 1-1-1, which involves those cloak Banshees.
Yeah.
It's might be just as terrifying when you're playing like, oh, I'm playing a standard game. This is fun. I'm having a good time, and then all of a sudden cloak Banshees appear in your middle line. And you're like, oh my gosh. I am not prepared for this, and we'll have to see how much damage aLive can do here.
And there we go. The Banshee making its way into the main. Cloak is almost finished, and Blink, Minigun blinking forward,
so
and
good.
that was so
biased.
solid and so important for Minigun, killing off the Banshee right before Cloak finished. And the second Banshee in production, that Banshee is almost done as well. But what follow-up does aLive have for this? He did establish additional gateways. He does have a few upgrades on the way. Stim nearing completion about 100 seconds in, I believe. Combat Shield is on the way. Concussive Shell. And the infantry weapons level 1 for the bio units, and upgrades for complexity Minigun. We do see ground weapons level 1, armor and charge on the way again. And just talk to me about that Banshee, man. That is so huge.
Oh my god, that's so big.
Because if he hadn't picked it off, he would have been in some trouble. Although there is a cannon,
absolutely,
but just overall a solid blink control and picking off the Banshee by Minigun.
It's so huge because not only in going for that Banshee, your medevacs are going to be delayed. Also, around this time is when like the scary, terrifying Terran pushes come. Like, when usually Terran players go for those medevacs, Stim is finishing, this is where those pushes come. But now, Minigun destroyed the Banshee without it doing any damage. He can feel safe to tech up. He's getting 1-1, or actually +2 weapons. He's getting charge, and he's doing this so comfortably because he killed the Banshee. The Banshee didn't do any damage. aLive invested so much into that cloak technology and wasn't able to do anything with it. So, such a huge deal to snipe that away. And now Minigun is going to be advancing to the 12-minute mark of the first time in this series.
Yeah, and you know, Minigun has a supply advantage as well, and he has an upgrade advantage. aLive right now is on 0-0. Minigun is on +1 for his ground weapons. Armor is almost completed. Charge is almost completed. The thing that aLive has for him is he does have that 3rd orbital command at the natural. He can always float it over to that 3rd and establish that 3rd expansion. But the thing is, Minigun is playing so much better this game, man. He's getting very quick upgrades. He established his tech very quickly. Picking off the Banshee, he's playing so much more map awareness. He's having so much more map awareness. He's going to establish a 3rd expansion. We see a Nexus. Going to go down here very soon for Minigun. I see the probe making its way. There we go. And aLive, probably telling himself, this guy actually might be pretty damn good. I beat him at MLG 2-0, but he's playing so much better right now. And Minigun moving forward again with these Stalkers. Probably just going to try to get a little bit of scouting information, see the composition aLive's going for, and then blink away. But Colossus is on the way. Thermalance on the way as well. And overall, a much better overall game plan here for Minigun.
Yeah, and again, it all comes down to scouting that Banshee tech, and aLive going to be suiciding a Banshee. This third is going to get up for Minigun, but aLive is going to start marching down the map here. And again, I said it before, I think drops are so good on this map, and I do expect, I will bet a lot of money that aLive will start dropping in lots of places. Your main is so far away from your third. There's so much airspace for medevacs to chill in. And Minigun, does he have any observer? Well, he has to have observers to scout the Banshee stuff.
He has one observer on the map, yeah.
But none over his opponent's army. He doesn't have any in potential drop pass from his opponent. So Minigun has to be really careful in that regard. Does not want to be caught off guard by any drops. And now aLive just going across the map here, positioning himself. Minigun getting that third. aLive getting a third of his own. Colossi in production for Minigun as well. It looks like +2 armor on the way. And +3 ground weapons is on the way too. And also Minigun has those blink stalkers. And aLive knows about this. So he may be a little bit more hesitant to try for the heavy drop play. Because if you can do it correctly, you can blink in and take down the medevacs before they drop any units, and that can be extremely good for the Protoss player. But a relatively even game. I don't think anyone is too terribly far ahead. Lots of Marines, Marauders, and medevacs on the field for aLive. Going into Ghost production, going into Viking production. 2-2 on the way for him. I mean, ultimately, it's all going to come down to army control, I think.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the angling and the positioning of both players. Yeah, both of them really even in supply. But I don't know if you noticed, aLive actually scanned the natural of Minigun. At the time, he was producing medevacs, and he's getting Ghosts, so maybe he's thinking he's playing against any kind of High Templar composition, possibly Archons, but he is going to be playing against Colossus, and that scan was so important for aLive, because what is he going to do now? He's going to go ahead and get started on his Viking production. He's going to throw down an additional command center to possibly be able to take a 4th expansion. And the overall unit composition for Minigun is looking really good, very Stalker heavy. He does have 3 Colossus on the map as well, 22 Zealots with charge. Let me take a quick look at the upgrades. Upgrades are actually in the favor of Minigun. He's on 2-2. But yeah, man, just as you said it, it's all going to come down to the angle and the position that both players are going to engage. And 3 gateways again being thrown down for Minigun. High Templars are on the map. Storm is on its way. And this is looking like a pretty damn cool game,
yeah, man.
Compared to the previous 2 matches.
Yeah, you nailed it. Of course, if you're just now joining us, aLive took the first 2 games quite comfortably, under 10 minutes, I think, with Marine pressure here and there. But Minigun making a fight out of it. He's not giving up. He's down 2-0 in this best of 7, but you're not going to see him give up. He's the foreigner hope, the North American hope, going up against the ferocious Korean player aLive, who just came off of a victory at IPL for defeating so many amazing players in that tournament. But here he is at the 17-minute mark of a PBT against his opponent. Looks like he's positioning. Is he going to move out yet? He's approaching maxed, and whenever you approach max, that's you're approaching your time when you want to start doing aggression. He has High Templars on the field, plenty of Colossi, plenty of Charge Lots, and Blink Stalkers. Again, it's going to all come down to that positioning. aLive adding on 2 bases in the bottom left-hand location, and Minigun's going to be looking for an engagement here.
Yeah, but look at aLive's macro, man. Just look on the left side of the map. All that purple, he is just expanding everywhere. He's getting that left side, the bottom left side, the 12 o'clock position. He's going to have like 6 expansions on the map. And Minigun is actually going to move across the map right now. Very heavy Zealots, a lot of Stalkers, and there is a few High Templars in that composition as well. 5 Templars to be exact. And this is cool. Minigun is going to go to work on these rocks, possibly to give himself a little bit better of an angle, I guess, to engage into aLive's army. But aLive on top of it, he is scanning. He's trying to see the exact positioning here for Minigun so that he himself can go ahead and get the better concave. But behind that, we see Shields is on its way for Minigun. Armor is almost completed as well. And aLive, you know, using these Stalkers, I don't know. I think this is a little, Minigun being very bold with these Stalkers, blinking, trying to get some of these Vikings. Vikings are going to get pulled back. And overall, man, it's all going to come down to where the players engage. Ghosts are going to be in the front. You don't want to lose these Ghosts. Oh my god, almost losing 1 Ghost there. And yeah, we're just going to have to wait to see engagement between both players. The Guardian Shield is going up, and it looks like Minigun wants to engage. No, he does not. Oh my god, those EMPs, man. Those EMPs taking out so many Stalker shields, and looks like they are going to engage. 174 supply for Minigun, 184 for aLive. He's going to move forward. Taking a lot of damage is Minigun, as well as aLive, storming a lot of these Marauders and Marines.
Wow.
But overall, aLive is going to come out victorious, man. The split of these bio units was just amazing from aLive.
Yeah, aLive handling that engagement so well, EMPing a large majority of that army, and Minigun choosing to engage anyway. aLive completely cleaning up the army of Minigun, not able to get those storms on the field. Didn't have a pylon forward to reinforce as soon as his army died. Look at his money right now, 3,000, 1,500. Imagine if he had a pylon a little bit further forward to warp in a bunch of zealots, but honestly, would that have really mattered? aLive handled that so well, took advantage of the map terrain, forcing Minigun to engage in the choke while he spread his units around, got those money EMPs, increased the DPS of his Marines and Marauders, had great positioning with the Vikings, targeting down those Colossi, and of course the Ghosts, keeping those alive, and able to get down so many good EMPs. And now Minigun is in such a tough position, trying to remake his army as fast as he can. A drop is loading up. Actually, aLive loading up every single one of his units pretty much and going right into the main base, and this is going to be so hard to deal with.
Yeah, there it is, getting dropped in the main base, aLive with a substantial supply lead, 196 to 164. Minigun doesn't really know how to engage into this army. Looks like he's going to try to blink into the main, losing a lot of Stalkers. I think he was on A move for a little bit here, but Minigun might be able to clean this up if he's going to get the Zealots. Looks like aLive going to lift and run away. But overall, man, aLive is ahead in expansions. Minigun is trying to secure this 4th expansion. That expansion is going to get dropped as well. Some Zealots are going to be warped in. aLive going to try to focus down the Nexus. That's not going to go down in time. But behind this, what is aLive going to do? He is going to continue Viking production as he notices more Colossus are coming out from Minigun. Even going to get additional upgrades, getting armor level 3 as well as weapons level 3. Continuing his Marine Marauder medevac production. A 4th, again, almost completed here for Minigun. More Storms and more High Templars will be on the map very shortly for Minigun. And you know, I have to say, Minigun did a good job of holding off. He is now ahead in supply, 192 to 188. But it's just the overall economy has to be much, much more superior here for aLive.
Minigun doesn't even know about these expansions in the bottom left. He's about to find out. His probe's going up there, and he's going to be like, oh, man. This sucks. I did not know these were up. They're both planetary fortresses. That probe gets shot by the planetary fortress, but stays alive for HP. Finally dies. And now Minigun finds out. And what does he do from here? I mean, does he try to attack, or does he try to get his own economy back up? Coming forward with a lot of High Templars. Does not want to get EMP'd. Has to be so cautious of the ghost of his opponent. Has an observer there. Not anymore. aLive. So good. Going to be scanning that and killing it. So now Minigun doesn't have as much vision as he used to. And this is such a tense situation here. Minigun has to position his units perfectly. It's all going to come down to getting down some money storms, positioning his Colossi correctly, blinking it underneath the Vikings and targeting those down with his Stalkers, but aLive has that high ground advantage, and he's not going to let those storms go down.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the Ghost and the Storm Micro. Looks like their EMP is going to go off. A few storms are going to hit, but Minigun doesn't really have a lot of storms left. Another storm is going to go off, and to try to kill off some of these medevacs and the bio units. Vikings are doing so much damage for the Colossus, but look at how aLive controls his units, man. As the storm hits, he pulls back and looks like he is going to come out victorious yet again in this battle. But both players all the way down to pretty low supplies right now, 120 to 114. But overall, a very solid angle from aLive, man. He got his concave. He pulled back the bio units just when they got stormed on and just had superior control with his Vikings picking off the Colossus. And that engagement is going to go in the favor of aLive, but Minigun not out of it whatsoever. 1,500 resources. Spend your resources, Minigun. Get a few more gateways.
Yeah, I mean,
get more, possibly another robotics facility. Maybe 3 would maybe help out right now, I would think, because he's going to be on... He's on 4 bases. Yeah. I think he can afford 3 robos.
Well,
on
he's
4
on
bases.
he's on 2 mining bases right now. And he might be at a point where, you know, you'd rather use that money on units as the game goes along, because he's not even maxed yet. So
yeah,
we'll
I
have to see what he ends up doing. aLive going to be backing up. Does not want anything to do with these Stalkers and Zealots. Minigun blinking forward here. Finally, aLive's going to stim and turn around. The charge lot's doing so much damage here, trying to get that surround. Nice EMP though from one of those goats. And does Minigun have enough to engage? It's throwing down another storm, landing on top of these Marines and Marauders, but also weakening those Zealots too. So Minigun going to have to back away. Colossi have to be careful. Wants to blink forward the Stalkers to target fire those Vikings. And Minigun's still ahead on supply, but I don't know, man. I don't know if he has enough. Needs to be careful not to overextend here.
Well, Minigun definitely not giving up at all. Looks like a Colossus is going to go down. No, maybe 2 Colossus. 1 goes down, actually. I think you're wrong.
Oh, wow.
But that's okay. aLive kills off a Colossus. Not bad. But look at the production tab. There is a Dark Shrine on the way. And this is a really cool option for Minigun. He's going to be able to put on a little bit of DT Harass. There are no turrets at the bottom left as well as that left expansion. So those expansions might be a little bit vulnerable against this DT play here from Minigun, but Minigun knows he needs to do something to the expansions very, very soon. He's going to try to take away this planetary fortress, and Minigun doing exactly what he needs to do to be able to take out Fnatic aLive in game number 3 here. Taking out that expansion, not going to go and take out that upper expansion. But with that being said, man, Minigun does have a supply advantage, 150 to 138. Very, very nice, solid upgrades for Minigun. 313 to be specific. More Storms and more High Templars again being warped in, and additional Ghosts on the way right now. aLive only with 2 Ghosts, and that is not going to be enough against this army composition here of Minigun. Maybe a few more Ghosts would definitely help him out. Just as I say that, 4 Ghosts on the way, and man, it's going to come down to yet another engagement.
Yeah, Minigun has to be so careful about splitting up his High Templar. Honestly, I would make some of these into Archons, but Minigun's going to keep them all right now. I think he has 10 High Templars in that composition. He needs to make absolute sure they're split up so he doesn't get all of them EMP'd. Continue to add Colossi to his army. Has his base at the bottom side of the map. Where is he going to take another base? And aLive, he's taking the base at the top hand location, but his money is consistently low. Which is a testament to his micro, but I still think this game could go either way. Minigun's starting to get really low in minerals, and again, like, we're gonna have an engagement soon, and it'll come down to the EMPs from those ghosts and the control from both these players once again.
But you know what? If you look at the center of the map, look at the army of Minigun, and then look at the army of aLive.
Yeah, man.
Even though there is ghosts on the map, and that's actually 6 ghosts, that's plenty of ghosts for really good EMPs. But the thing is, I think if Minigun engages into this, he will have the upper hand. He has 4 Colossus, and 4 Vikings are not going to be enough. Ooh. And it looks like he's going to try to engage. Oh my god, a few units of aLive are actually going to be caught a little bit here onto the ramp. Storms, those were some amazing money for Minigun. Again, feedback on the Metavax. Has Minigun done it, man? 171 supply to 87.
Minigun! Destroying the army of aLive, saying, you haters, get out of here, man. I'm Chad, mother effing Jones. I'm in the house. I'm not gonna lose. I'm not gonna lose every game. And Minigun wins game number 3. But can he come back? Still a lot of work to do. That was so awesome to watch. So awesome to see, guys. This is a best of 7 between Fnatic aLive and Complexity Minigun. My name is Axel, joined by Promise. We're going to be back with game number 4 after a quick commercial break. Can Minigun come back? We'll have to see after this break. Don't go anywhere.